Welcome everyone to the warm heart of Africa. We are coming to you live from the farm here in Namikango village.
This is the first time we've been able to connect live America with our people in Malawi. The full-time workers are on payroll, but the part-time workers we hire depending on what's going on at the farm. Many of them have been with us for a very long time, and we'll hear some testimonies from them later.
As Chris has likely said, I would like on their behalf send my great gratitude towards you for your support that has been untireless for all these years. Indeed, your support has really changed the lives of many people, including myself as well as the whole entire staff.
I remember from the time I was really young, I've always had a passion for farming. I've always wanted to learn farming, to be able to train people, to be able to teach people, because it's very difficult from the area where I've grown up. But I have the chance to have hands-on training with everything else going on the farm. We grow maize, we grow soya, we grow onions. So I'm having a chance to learn about all of this so that at a later date I might be able to apply some of it and even train other people as well.
So this is Mrs. Bonongwe. She's been working at the farm at L2 Limited since 2019. Once she could see the attitude of people at the farm here was wanting to help people, she really dedicated herself to working hard here, and she's been able to both pay school fees for her children and then also just generally support them. And she says she's not the only one, that many people around here have had a similar experience. She's experienced a lot of change, especially in her own life. She's had to support grandchildren and children at home. So since working here, she's been able to get financially stable enough to build herself a house.
She is a part-time worker, piece worker. And so she's done such a good job that she keeps getting rehired to do different tasks. But even as a part-time worker, she's been able to save enough money to build a house and support her family.
So she says her final words are basically a request that she would love to see the work continue. She says she'd love to see it spread to other areas. She'd love to see her own children, grandchildren working here, have this, the kind of benefits that she's experienced be experienced by many more.
It's amazing. If you could hear everybody's testimony, everybody has a little bit different story, but I can assure you that what they have experienced here has changed many, many, many people's lives. One of the things you have to caution yourself with when you're in a country like Malawi and you do a project like this is the need is so great and so massive. You can fall into a trap of thinking there is so much need. What difference am I going to make? There is no way. There are too many starfish here. You can't even begin to scrape the surface. You're not going to be able to make a difference. And the little boy picked up a starfish and he held it up and said, ask this starfish if I made a difference in his life, as he put that starfish back in the ocean. So these are our starfish. God has called us to this mission, and we wanted you to see our starfish. And we love them, each and every one, very much, and it's such a privilege to be able to have an effect, and you guys, by your support, are affecting all these people. All right, now I want to take you on a short tour of the farm so you can get an idea of how our operation works. We have divided our farm into plots. You can see the size of one of the plots right here. That's one plot. We have 91 of those. Every single one of these plots has an irrigation port, so we're able to put drip irrigation in every single field. Onions is one of our main crops, and so as you can see here, we're preparing the beds for our onion crop. And over here, next to it, you can see a more mature onion plot. This is what this plot will look like when it's planted. And even out beyond there, you can see our pigeon peas, and beyond that, you can see our maize. So that's actually 3 crops you can see right there lined up that we're growing right now. We do a lot of training of foundations for farming. As a matter of fact, just a couple weeks ago, a school brought 80 children here to do a field trip. This is becoming something that's happening more often. Schools in the local area are booking to come and do tours of the farm. And the other thing we do is we're actually working with internships now through the agricultural schools. We're getting a reputation, and sometimes we'll have 5 or 6 students at a term be here and work with us sometimes for a year. And one of the things I want to point out here is our bananas. We are in the process of putting bananas in the bags and processing and getting them ready for planting. This is what we call cover crop. It is a very nutritious crop that produces a lot of nitrogen and biocarbon for the soil. It's one of the best we found. Over here, you'll see the onions. When they're ready to be planted, we'll take them from these fields and we'll plant them in those beds. The next part I want to show you is the core of our training program, Foundations for Farming. These are the fields that we use to train this really revolutionary new way of growing crops. This is an organic method that we grow maize, which is their primary food source, and we grow without fertilizer. Now, this is fertilizer. Today, it's $125,000. This is about a month and a half of an average person's salary. That's how expensive this is. So we have replaced using this with compost, which costs about $6,000 a bag. The second application of fertilizer is what we call chicken soup. It costs about 4,000 kwacha to make this. We just take raw chicken manure and diffuse it in this drum of water, and we put 1 cup, mix it with 7 parts water, 1 cup on each plant. So we've replaced all of this with this, and look at the results right before your eyes. When we bring Malawians out here and we say that they can do this with no fertilizer, they don't even believe it. And one more thing I should point out about this field, there's 58 lines. So 52 of those lines represent 1 week every year. One line can feed a family of 6 for 1 week. 52 is for a year. The other 6 are a tithe. So we're trying to teach a visual tithe, 6 rows that you give back to your church, and the other 52, a family of 6 can eat on for a year. This is a soya. This is a cash crop. So this is a legume. We're teaching crop rotation. So they will actually be able to sell the soya from this field. Our dream here is to not only have our famutsu fields, but to have medicinal plants. Artemisium, for instance, which is used to cure malaria. And then here we have moringa. Maybe you've heard of moringa. Moringa is used, it's a super vitamin, a superfood. They can crush the leaves and put it in their porridge. So we're testing new types of broccoli, cauliflower. Before things go in production, we test them in these fields. And one other thing I want to point out over here is the electrical wires. God used our farm to bring electricity to this very remote village which had no chance to ever have electricity. So we've got a real treat for you. Lovey, why don't you take over and explain to them why maize is so important and how that's used?
Yeah, so we thought it would be so fun today to bring some maize in from the field. So here's the maize. So we've already husked it in the field. So we're bringing it in. And now we have to remove the husks with our thumbs. And you can imagine after some hours, wow, this is really tiring on the thumbs. But, and then we have to pound it. We have to remove the outer hard shell from the maize. And then it needs to be winnowed to remove all the chaff. And then we're going to pound it again into a flour. And now at this stage, we call it ufa. And then once it's a fine flour, it's ready for cooking. So we're going to add it to boiling water. We want it to be the consistency of, you can say, mashed potatoes. And then it's ready for plating. They make it into like a ball, and they'll dip it in their beans if they have greens of any kind. And they're enjoying their delicious sima. And that's how we prepare our maize from farm to table, or can I say from farm to mat.
I want to turn it over to Ross so he can tell you what goes on here.
Yeah, welcome to our PPC, our Product Processing Center. Mr. Ngulinga has just arrived with a trailer full of produce straight from the field, and all of that will be weighed and measured by Fortunate, who's our manager here in the PPC. Within this center, we do grade by the quality of the produce itself, but then also by the weight and by the maturity as well. And then over here on this side, they're grading out between the yellow and red onions. As we look around the facility here, we can see these large shelves where we can store about 3 metric tons of onions at a time. We also have a large pallet over here in the corner where we can store about 60 metric tons of grain. Further into our building, we have space for expansion. We hope and look to have cold storage at some point. On the other side of that wall, we have a tool room where we can park and store our tractor, and we also have offices in that back corner. Chris, thanks for letting me show you around. Let me hand it back to you.
Well, we're almost done. I just wanted to give you one final look of the farm as the sun is setting out over the hills. You can see our solar well way out there in the distance. These purple houses are our well houses, and way down there you can see our banana plantation down there. I just want to thank everyone. Make no mistake, what you saw here today, God gets all the glory and honor and credit. It's all because of Him. But we also want to thank our investors. Many of you watching right now have participated in funding this project, and we are so grateful. We wanted you to see firsthand what God is doing with your investment. People are supporting their families by working as God had intended. People are hearing the gospel. People have an income enabling them to support their local church. Every product you see here, tomatoes, onions, bananas, our packaged tomatoes, 5% of the revenue that we generate from everything we sell goes directly to fund the mission, church planting, and pastor training. This year, our annual investment focus is aligned around 2 areas. So regarding revenue expansion, we are looking to expand our operations into animal production. We want to create facilities to raise chickens and pigs. In the 3.3 acres we have across the street we just recently purchased, we are going to target animal production. Eventually, we want to expand into butchering and selling packaged meat. We also want to expand our tomato packaging business. And lastly, we want to improve our ability to grow quality, higher value products like broccoli, cauliflower, and lettuce. And a lot of those things require greenhouses. The second focus area is mission longevity. We do not want this farm to be a one and done mission. So future missionaries will be required to maintain and expand this project well into the future. We need folks to run our animal production, our packaging business. There is so much opportunity, but Joni and I need successors. So this leads us to our second investment focus for this year, the creation of a missionary campus to support future missionaries. These empty chairs here, maybe you can fill those chairs. If you feel like the Lord is calling you, there is an opportunity here to come alongside and to be part of the succession or expansion plans. Maybe there's someone listening this morning that could fill these chairs. We are actively seeking people called to this field. In John chapter 4, Jesus is talking, "Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already with the harvest." What we're saying is to lift up your eyes, search and look upon the fields, because they are white right now for the harvest. I love verse 38 because it is absolutely setting the stage for a mission that is started from one person and then taken over by another. I love how he says it, and ye are entered into their labors of it where another man has started. So we want you to really pray and think about, is this an opportunity for you? Prayerfully consider this field. Maybe you can fill some of these chairs. There are other ways you can get involved also. Come visit us. Your church can bring a mission team. Maybe this is a place for missionary training and internship, or maybe your family just wants to come and visit my Lovey and I and spend some time with us. Thank you again for joining us this morning. If you have any questions, just ask us on our website or reach out and we'll be glad to answer your question. On behalf of all of us here in Malawi, we love you and hope to see you soon.